Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Harakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, GMS, that rule well, and peace and salutations to you fellow Akim, pushing this truth, all right, to the four corners of the earth, as Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai has commanded us to do before his return, to wake up the elect, okay, that are scattered throughout America and throughout the four corners of the earth, okay? To you, I say shalom. This is a in transit pre-camp live lesson, man, and I just wanted to spend this time, doing a quick lesson. And the topic of this lesson is, these doomsday preppers and these elites, their bunkers, and everything that they prepare and put inside of those bunkers, and these doomsday preppers, what they gather to themselves for the day of doom, the apocalypse, all hell breaking loose, the end days, the return of the Lord, okay? All of those goods, food, those bunkers, lavish bunkers and whatnot, with internet, with Wi-Fi and whatnot, with all these food, all that these preppers and these elites lay up for themselves for the day of doom, all that is going to be given to the Lord's elect, all right, in the time of trouble, in Jacob's trouble, when all hell breaks loose, okay? The Lord is going to put his elect, some of his elect men, in those doomsday bunkers, somehow, some way, and not those elites, all right? Those elites are going to die off somehow, Lucky, let me turn this off. And these doomsday preppers, all right, all that gathered up food, non-perishable items and whatnot, survival stuff, all that's going to be given to the Lord's going to give that to his elect, his prophets, his servants, his prophets, okay? Because like the scriptures say, the Lord's prophets shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed and have a sorrow of heart, So the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, okay, he's going to somehow, some way, he's going to feed his elect, all right? He's going to give them drink in the time of no water, in the time of no food. He's going to give them food, and he's going to shelter them, keep them safe in the time of trouble, man. Somehow, some way, man, all right? Because the Lord says he's going to do it, all right? And one of those ways is by giving his elect those doomsday preppers foods, that they prepare for themselves for the end days, all right? And those aren't my words, me coming up with that, that's what the scriptures say, man, all right? I'm bringing out reading some scriptures, while I'm driving. Apostle of Heart, he told us, not to do that, but, these are quick, to the point, but Proverbs 13:21, it says, evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid, all right? Verse 22, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just, okay? And that, that goes for, these doomsday bunkers and these elites, and these doomsday preppers, all right? Okay, preparing all this stuff for the day of doom, the return of the Lord, all hell breaking loose, the end days. Because you don't see us, men of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, preaching or teaching to prepare, carnally, all right, store up goods, buy all these perishable items, these survival items, learn how to live off the land, we're not saying that's gonna get you saved, man, all right? But serving Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai is gonna be what's gonna get you saved in those days, because wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, all right? The wisdom and knowledge of the Lord, all right? The strength of salvation, Because if you trust in your ability to store up unperishable items, stored up goods, food, and survival, abilities and things to help you survive the end days, that's not you putting your strength in salvation, man. That's you putting your strength in your own ability, okay? And the Lord's gonna all that just for the Lord to give all those things to his elect, all right? It says, and the wealth of a sinner is laid up, not to the sinner, but to the just, all right? And who's just in the eyes of Yahweh Shai, all right? His prophets, his servants, his prophets, those that are serving him and will trust in him and are trusting in him, all right, to save them and keep them alive and safe during when all hell breaks loose. Why does this big old man have to drive right in front of me, man? One more precept. This is Job 27:16. It says, though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay. And who's doing this? Who's heaping up silver as the dust and preparing raiment as the clay? That's Esau Edom, the so-called white man, all right? He's taking all the silver and gold and all these precious minerals and gemstones and rocks and precious goods of the earth and heaping it up for himself, storing it, in these bunkers, these doomsday bunkers, and these forts, in remote places, secret places, okay, and he's also, building doomsday bunkers, in Switzerland and all these places, around the world, possibly in space, I don't know, man, but hey, that's all gonna be for nothing, man, all right? But that's the white man. You don't see the black man, Latino man, the Native American man doing what this white man is doing, buying and making doomsday bunkers. That's a Slovakia. That's a white man thing, man. All right, white men do that shit. Do doomsday bunkers, doomsday prepper. It's not no black man doing that. Asian, maybe Asian, but Mexican man, Latino man, Native American man, they're not doing that shit, man. All right, it's always a white man. Okay. Verse 17, it says, he may prepare it, but the just, all right, the Lord's elect, his servants, the prophets, okay, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver, okay? The innocent, and who's innocent in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai? His servants, the prophets, which are Israelites, not freaking Gentiles, like Genesis is saying, man, these effing sellouts, all right, but that's a nice car, but Saki, man, yeah, this Edomite, he's building all these doomsday bunkers and preparing for the day of doom. All for all that preparation is just for that to be given to the servants of Yahweh Shai. Hope this edifying to the elect. Shalom.